reasonably nice weather today and a few days of nice weather forecast. So I am off out onto a solo wild camp, and Henry's staying behind to mend his bike and put a new chain on it, try and get it working. Got a new life straw after losing our other one canoeing. Necessary these are. Right, let's go. So the walk I'm doing is called the Lune Valley Ramble, and normally it starts at Lancaster railway station if you're going west to east, and finishes at Kirkby Lonsdale, which is about 17 miles, but it makes more sense for me to walk up the canal until I reach the Lune aqueduct, and then I'll go down onto the river at that point. So I guess a lot of people could do 17 miles in a day. It's a bit far for me. My feet don't like going that far in a day, and half the excitement is camping out. Although it's not normally the sort of place around here that people camp out. Everyone goes up onto the hills and finds a crag to camp out on, but I'm hoping that I can find a little spot to tuck myself away in. We'll see. I have got a plan B if I can't find anywhere. I don't know what the terrain's going to be like down there, and it might be wet because it has been raining. I can always find a road, and there is a bus that goes to and fro, so I do have a plan B. And I don't even really need a map. I mean, I've got a downloaded one from the Ordnance Survey, but there is a footpath all along the river to go beyond Lonsdale, so it should be a pleasant, easy walk. I'm carrying about 11 kilos, I think, which is the minimum I seem to be able to get away with. But about a kilo of that is food for today, so that'll lighten up. So I'm just coming up through the centre of Lancaster now. You can see the boat's moored over there. We're moored 5 minutes down that way. And I've got about 2 miles to the aqueduct, and then we'll start on the walk proper. These are the moorings right in the centre of Lancaster. There's a pub over there called the Water Witch, which was the name of one of the packet boats that ran up and down this canal in the old days. And even here it's not too bad. I mean, there's a bit of traffic there, but it's quite sedate around here. This is a nice little corner here. It's just the other side of Lancaster. It's just starting to come out. Just walking along, and you can see some twonks have chucked an entire Lancaster Council bin in there. It's got a concrete base, so it's just sitting there, and it's a bit of a hazard for the passing boats. And I've spoken to a passerby who said it's been there for at least 3 weeks, so I've just reported it to Lancaster Council, which meant having to register on their site and all sorts. But anyway, hopefully somebody will get it out. So here we are at the aqueduct, and we've been over it several times now in the boat, but I've never been under it, so I'm going to find the steps down to it. Quite industrial here, quite a chemical smell as well. I'm not sure what that is. So there goes the river, and it's still tidal up to this point. In the olden days, I think the Romans originally had a port up at Lancaster, but over the years it became more difficult to navigate. You know, silt comes down and the channels get shallower, and these days it's all down at Glasson Basin, what's left. Well, the first mile continues, still quite edge of city-ish. Big road over there, might be the motorway actually, and then another road there and a smaller bridge behind. Oh look, these are nice flowery lights. Nice touch. Finally I found a nice footpath, and I would guess that the top of the tide is around here or just down there. That's a bridge over to Hatton. And I've realised why it's so busy up there, because there's a cycleway and walkway all the way to the Lune. And the Lune is a really popular spot. It's like an elbow on the river, and there's a beach there. You see people picnicking and swimming there. So I guess after that it'll quieten down. Nice to be right on the river. Well, I can see why people prefer the top track. This one is definitely tricky. It's very slippery and there's fallen trees, but I still prefer it. I'm just going to find my way over there. Well, I think this particular path has petered out and it's super slippery anyway. I wouldn't be doing it at all if I didn't have my trekking poles. But there was a set of steps back there, so maybe I should go and wisely take them before I fall in the river. Okay, I guess I should have taken the hint of those steps in the first place. But one never likes to go back on a walk. But I had to admit defeat there. This is Halton Weir, big weir. Just over there, there's a danger sign with a big white arrow, which I guess must be for any canoes or paddle boards that come down. I can't think who else would see a sign over there. Well, I'm not quite sure I'm even on the proper path. There's a lot of work going on here. I think sometimes I'm just walking along fishermen's access paths. Now it's getting better. There's a lovely beach down there. It'd be nice to swim from. I haven't brought my swimming costume, so I'd have to wait until I was somewhere a bit further along and more private. Like this tree, it's holding on by its fingertips. It's got a bit of a lean though, so that's going to be in the river one day. I don't think I'm too far from Lune now. And here we are at, I think this is the Lune. The bridge here with all the flood debris washed up against it. I'm still finding my way along these. I'm not entirely sure that that is a path. May go up to the top actually. I came under the bridge, but I don't think it is a path. The river's beautiful here. There's a huge tree down there. I bet it looks different when it's in flood, but today it looks very benign. I think I've got to cross over this way and then turn right somewhere. Some beautiful otter sculptures here. This is nice. It's a memorial forest, a life for a life. Planting a tree for somebody to remember them. Oh, I didn't expect so many steps. I'm not sure what happened there. The path that I was on that looked so promising petered out in erosion, and then I double checked my OS and I realised I was walking in, I think, completely the wrong direction. And I think because I've come over the river twice on two bridges with the big curve, I think my sense of direction just got turned upside down. So I've checked my compass and I should be walking east, which I wasn't. So I'm back at the Lune. I'm going to have some lunch and then I've got to go that way, not that way, I think. When I'm finally going in the right direction, I know the mistake that I made. I crossed two bridges and then continued round, sort of looping back the way I came. I just got confused. but obviously I should be walking against the flow of the river, not with it, which I was at that point. Anyway, we're now got some really, there's hardly anybody walking along here, but I have just seen a dog walker who told me that I should cross over the next bridge because it's going to be difficult to stay on this side. The Ordnance Survey does say that there's a path either side, but I think it might be boggy up there. But just here we've got some work going on at the weir, and they're making a runway for eels and elvers to be able to get up and down the river more easily over the weir. So they're working with the Environment Agency is doing that. And then the bridge that I'm going to cross is just up ahead, and I'm going to have second lunch there because I only had half of it back there. I wanted to get on the right road and then sit and enjoy the last bit of it. So, oh yeah, just in front, have a look at this. There's the mountains of the Southern Lake District up ahead there. And then over there are the wind turbines, which we camped on a couple of months ago now. They're always there, wherever we go, that field of turbines is there. Looks like they've been in the water this morning, with their wetsuits hanging out to dry. Oh, I guess this is the bridge I've got to cross. Although there's a lot of gates up. Maybe here. More steps. These are pipes that are obviously carrying water. Beautiful bridge. Beautiful valley. Well, this is a tricky bit. I'm supposed to follow the footpath which does a big loop around the river around there, but there's a lot of cows, and I can see that there's a short, well, it's not a shortcut, but I'm making it a shortcut across here so I can avoid going through all the cows. Oh, well, that worked. Nice shortcut. Cut off about half a mile, which is good because I've landed on at least 2 miles today, I think. Anyway, the path is very good here as well. A bit of weather coming in behind, and the wind's got up a little bit, not too bad. It is supposed to rain a bit tonight, but not until, hopefully, long after I'd put up the tent and got into bed. Two main worries when you go out solo camping and hiking. The first one is finding somewhere to pitch a tent in a nice stealthy manner, and the second one is finding a water source. And of course there is the river there, and I do have my life straw, but I would prefer a sort of brook coming down through the hills, but in the end I'll take what I can get. Oh well, found a stile that goes onto a path that takes me around this farm, but that's my path through there, which is going to be interesting with this pack on. It wasn't quite the flat valley walk that I thought. It's definitely had some challenges, and this bloody Himalayan balsam is a nightmare, but I suppose at least it's not prickly. Oh God, that was ridiculous, and all it's done is brought me back onto the same path. I should have just gone through that gate. I was being too polite. Well, my way is that way, but I don't want to upset any of these, so I'm just letting them get used to me being here. And then I think, I don't know whether to go around by the river or not. And I'm through. They were all quite gentle. That would be nice to camp on, but I can't get over there. This is reminding me of being on the River Spey. Nice flow on the water. You have to canoe quickly on that. Not with all the weirs down there though. Treacherous there. I know I'll get stuck. I'll have to find a way around. It's all running out of the hills here. But luckily I've got waterproof boots on. I think I'm going to have to do a quick hop and a skip on this grass. And this is the path now. It's obviously eroded quite a lot. And I'm guessing that this is not a very often walked route. I mean, it's called the Lune Valley Ramble. It sounds like something you do on a Sunday afternoon, but it's actually, well, in the middle bit, it's quite difficult. I mean, they have got these bits here, but there's so much erosion in between. And Japanese knotweed and Himalayan balsam, which is a nightmare to get through this time of year when it's in full growth. That's it, I'm out of the wood. It wasn't easy. It's gone 4 o'clock and I'm gasping for a cup of tea. So there's a nice handy wall here and a little track. So a cup of lapsang and then about another maybe 3 kilometres, mile, something like that. I'm going to start looking for somewhere to sleep tonight. Been a long day. When I looked on the GPS this morning and it said 5 hours. 5 hours, my arse. I've been walking since 10 o'clock and it's 4:30 now and I haven't stopped very much. And I'm not a slow walker, even with a pack on. Well, I've just come across a couple of fields of bullocks. Cautiously, I just took my time and didn't upset them. On some of these styles, little designs have been, that's staples down there, and somebody's made a design with them. There's been a few others as well. Anyway, I'm past Gressingham, going back into the woods, but I'm going to start looking for somewhere soon because I'm really tired. Well, I think I found my spot. It's reasonably flat. It's a bit on the path, but I haven't seen anybody in a couple of hours. I don't think people walk along here very often. And in the end, I changed my mind again. I found a spot which is quite a way up from the path. The thing is, you know, sleep isn't a given when you're wild camping. You've got to feel comfortable where you are. This is fairly flat. It's not under any trees. And it's out of sight of the path. There have been cows here, but quite a while ago, judging by the field. And I'm way down in the corner. So I think this is going to be nice. I can still see the river down there. And I'm going to get the tent up before that rain comes in. Stealth tent up. Nice sky over there. And dinner on the go. It's my usual sausages cut in half so the middle's cooked nice and quick. Pre-cooked potatoes with harissa spice mix on them and tomatoes. And last time I solo camped, it didn't get dark until about 11, so it'll be better tonight. And I've got a nice podcast to listen to. And I'm going to sleep well, I hope. I've got earplugs this time. Dinner's done, and it's just come up to 8 o'clock. Probably about another hour if I'm lucky of daylight, so I'm going to get all my bits and pieces done that need to be done while I can still see, and then I'm going to listen to a podcast and go to bed. So hopefully it will be a peaceful night, and I'll see you in the morning. Morning. Well, it's about 5:30 and I can just see a line of light coming up in the east. And I'm going to pack up, and I had a pretty good night's sleep. I only woke up about 20 minutes ago and I went to bed quite early, so I count that as a win. And it rained only for about 10 minutes in the night, so I'm going to get everything packed up. I'll have to put the tent away a bit wet, but I can dry that out with the boat when I get back. I'm all packed up and ready to go. Just having a cup of tea. Just about got enough water for a cup of tea. I spilt the rest. So I'm going to have some breakfast along the way, maybe in a couple of hours. And that should see me into Kirby Lonsdale then, I hope. And then if I can get some water, I can have a coffee along the way. Wash my face as well. But it's a lovely morning. A cup of tea and I'll be good to go. The clouds are all breaking up. And there's the odd glint of sunlight on the water. It's nice to be walking again, although I'm very stiff this morning. Not used to carrying so much weight. But once I get going, it'll be fine. No good telling me that now, I've just crossed it. I can't get through this gate with my rucksack. It's like, can't get me in there. Take it off or climb over. Now this is going to be tricky to cross. It's being fed by a stream. I guess I'm just going to have to wade. Ooh, there's some stones there. Ooh, God, that's quite deep. Okay. My trousers are really wet as well. Very long wet grass everywhere. Okay. I think I'm just going to walk through it actually, because I'm going to get just as wet. Oh God, it's... Oh God, if my socks stay dry after that, I shall be very surprised. Damn it, I just made a huge mistake. I shouldn't have come over that bit of water. I should have gone up the side. But look what's happening over there. I met the man whose sister owns that balloon when I was camping up by the wind turbines, which are over there now. And he said that sometimes he has to go with them for extra ballast. And there it goes, off into the forest of Poland. Hello, sunshine. Oh, well, I've been looking for somewhere to stop for breakfast, and I think I'm going to sit on this stile. I can't get any water for coffee, although there's water everywhere. There's also a barbed wire fence and a steep drop. And I'm not terribly sure about drinking river water when there's lots of cow fields running along it. So I think I've got about 5 kilometres to go. So if the worst comes to worst, I can get a coffee in Kirby Lonsdale. But I do need some food now to do the last bit. My backpack is hurting my hip a bit. I think I've got quite a short body, and I think I could do with a rucksack that was shorter in the body. I've got muesli that I pre-soaked last night, big bowl of it, with yogurt and berries. I'm going to enjoy this. Cheers. That tree seems to have escaped and run off to join its friend in the woods over there. The rest are still bound. I'm walking along an embankment here, which I guess is a sort of little dike, because I guess that will flood in winter. As we get towards Kirby, the river gets very wide. Quite a lot of flood damage here. I think this bank gets eroded all the time. You're gonna have to move. I'm sorry, but there's nowhere else for me to go. Well, we had a standoff and only one of them moved. I mean, I could have risked walking past them, but there's quite a steep drop and I didn't want to be nudged down it. What are you doing up on the footpath, eh? You all look quite docile, but you're a lot bigger than me. Now I've got to climb over the barbed wire fence again, haven't I? Is your name Jones? It says so on your ear. Hello, Jones. I've made it. There's Devil's Bridge. And another quick hop up into the village, and then I'll be happy with the coffee. Oh, I've never been so glad to get anywhere. And we're wending our way back to Lancaster on the bus at a far greater speed than I was able to walk. And I have wet feet, aching shoulders and a painful hip. And was it worth it? Of course it was. If nothing else, it teaches me what I can do. It was 9 degrees last night and I was very comfortable at that temperature. 17 miles was quite a long way to walk, only because the path was so difficult at times. But it was great. These adventures are always good. Anyway, that's it for now. Have a good week, everyone. See you on the next one. Bye now.
If you know the way to Blue, have you seen the land